Hey guys, it's Addie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a highly requested makeup tutorial. I've gotten so many questions about this and I kind of just updated my makeup routine a little bit and I love it even more than I did before, so I thought it was the perfect time to do it. I'm actually running late now because I decided to film this, but that's okay. And I feel like my makeup turned out really cute today, so it was a great day to do it. Anyway, I'm gonna try not to ramble and we're gonna go like 30 minutes into the past and I'm gonna let you guys talk to pre-makeup Addie. First thing I do is put my hair back. Sometimes I use one of those like the funky headbands from Verse. I'm sure you guys have seen them. And honestly, I love that headband. I know it looks kind of crazy and some people make fun of it, but it does such a good job at holding my hair back. Today I'm just gonna use these little clips to keep it simple. First thing I always do, again, I know like the bronzy drops are so overdone now, but I think that they're so great because I personally don't like to tan my face. Not like because I don't want my face to be tan, I do, but when I'm at the pool I always want to wear a hat and sunglasses because I read and it makes it easier to read if I can see better, so I want to wear a hat and sunglasses, which ends up with my face always being a lot paler than the rest of my body. So first things first, I use this CeraVe, whatever, I don't know how you say it, AM SPF moisturizer, and I just do like that much. And then I use the Lumi Glotion, which I also love and recommend, but last time I was at Sephora I got the Glowy Super Gel in Sun Glow, and I actually really like this. I think when it runs out I am gonna get the full size. And I feel like it's a little less patchy than the other ones I've tried. And then I use a blush to blend it in just because nobody talks about this, but when I rub it in with my hands, I end up with this like brown film on my hands, which like is the same thing that ends up in your face. But I don't want to have to get up and wipe off my hands every time I use it, so I just use like a flat brush. And most days I don't use any kind of like skin tint or foundation or anything. I just use this and then go straight to concealer. But today, since I'm doing like a full in-depth makeup routine, I'm gonna do like everything that I might do and I blend it down my neck. Anyway, that's how this looks. Already so much better. I just feel like the bronze evens out so much. Next, again, normally I just go straight to concealer, but on a day when I want more coverage, I mix these together. So the e.l.f. Halo Glow in the shade 1 Fair and Fenty Beauty in the shade 4. And I just mix them together because I like the Halo Glow, but it's really glowy. And I personally like my makeup to be somewhere in between glowy and matte. I like a good middle because I just feel like too glowy makes me look oily. And then I use the same brush from before. I got these teal brushes in a pack on Amazon for like $15 or something. I don't know. I'll link it in my storefront if you guys want to go check it out. But I've used them for a couple months now and I really like them. So, and like obviously like it's not too much, but I feel like it just gives me a little extra coverage. So okay, I'm gonna go wet my beauty blender real quick. I switched to like the actual on-brand beauty blender, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I know it's $20 for a beauty blender, but it changed my life. This thing is so much nicer than any other beauty blender I've used. I used to use the Real Techniques ones and I always thought they were really good, but compared to this, they're rocks. And not only that, but I feel like this one just blends so much better. Like everything is so much smoother when I use this one. So I use the brush and then I just go in my beauty blender to make sure everything smooths out. And I'm gonna link everything that I can product wise in my storefront as well. So next, I color correct. Sometimes I color correct before I do the skin tint, but today I forgot, so we're rolling with it. But I color correct my under eyes because I do have dark circles. So I've had this for such a long time, it's probably way expired to be honest. But I use the Benefit Boing concealer and I use it in the shade 3, which is way too dark for me and it's kind of orange. Basically for dark circles you want to color correct with orange, and I had this one recommended to me, so it's what I use. And obviously like how much I use depends on what kind of day it is, how I'm feeling, but I'm gonna do that much today and I just blend it in with my finger and then I go in again with the beauty blender and just do. Next for concealer, I use 2 concealers. There's a third one that I use sometimes, so I'll mention it just so you guys know. But recently I got the Merit little stick concealer in the shade Silk, and I really love this. I feel like it has great coverage and it's great also for like spot concealing. My go-to that I've used for the longest time and I will never stop using, like every single time I run out I get a new one. I actually think I have like 3 in my thing right now because I have different shades for different seasons, but it's the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. As someone with the dark circles, this is my ride or die concealer, my go-to forever. If I'm just putting on a little bit of makeup, this is the one I'm gonna use. And then also I don't love this concealer for my under eyes because it does crease really bad because it's kind of like a lighter weight, but again on days when I don't want very much, if I don't put it all the way up under my eye, it's great. And it's also good for a little bit lighter spot concealer, and it's the Glossier Stretch concealer. But on days like today, oh my gosh, that's dangerous, be careful out there, okay? This like, it's gonna like fall out of there. I'm like, it's kind of loose. Anyway, I go in first with this and I go like that. That's honestly a bit more than I normally use, but. And then this is what I use to spot conceal. So I have a couple pimples on my chin right now, so I did that. If I have any on my forehead, I'll do that. And then I put a little bit on my nose if I'm having any breakouts there. And I always have a little bit of redness around the bottom of my nose, so. But if I don't want to use a beauty blender, the brush that I typically use for concealer is the Morphe M173, which I think is called a Chubby Buffer. I don't know, I love this thing. And again, this all depends on like what kind of coverage I want for each day. So today, since I'm showing you everything, I am going to go in with the NARS Radiant Creamy on top, just because I feel like this concealer is so amazing. And I kind of just do the under eye since I already did like, and then my finger to start at least to blend out. That's it for concealer. Bronzer, I used to use this like Clinique foundation stick that was in a couple shades too dark, and I loved that thing, but I finally ran out of it and I don't think they make it anymore. So last time I was at Sephora, I got the Rare Beauty little contour bronzer stick, sorry, in the shade Bright Side. I do also have the e.l.f. putty bronzer, but I just feel like this little like container is so small and it's kind of hard to get the product out of. Would say that this one is comparable to my Clinique foundation stick. I love this, it's really easy to blend. And the color is really pretty, so let's do there, forehead, and then like I'll blend that together a little bit. I do a little on my chin, and then my jaw, which again, I don't usually put it down here unless it's a more important day. And then I'll go back in for my nose in a second, but I'm just gonna use the same flat brush. And I also have this one from Real Techniques that I like, and then I'll blend it, and like I said, I blend it up a little bit. Basically, if I use a brush to blend out a cream product, just assume that I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender after. And then for my nose, I just do line across the middle and then across the bottom. And then I'm gonna use this e.l.f. contouring brush because it's just a little bit like more dense to blend the nose. And I bring it up, like connect it over my eyebrow, or like, sorry, under my eyebrow. Also, fun fact, did you guys know that what I used to post about was makeup? There are a couple people that are OGs that have been here since that time, but used to makeup was what I posted about for the most part before I started posting about the fangirl stuff. Well, from like 5th grade to 8th grade, I posted about makeup, and then I kind of just didn't really post for like a year, and then I came back, did like lifestyle, some makeup, and then I found my niche, which was the fangirl stuff. As you can see, no, TTPD isn't up there, hold on. I was listening to it yesterday, so it was sitting over here. Anyway, that is the nose. And then blush, I have like 8 different cream blushes that I like to use. These are them. We have the e.l.f. liquid blush in Coral Crush, the little Milk makeup stick in Work. And then my favorite one currently is the Perk Up Cheek and Lip Color from Morphe in the shade Rosy Wishes, because I can put it straight on my face. It's not like it like melts off the rest of the makeup or anything, but I feel like it lasts longer. The color holds up better if I use a brush. So that is what we're doing today. And I focus it like here to like lift, you know? But then I also put it on my nose and my cheeks just a little bit, so. And I kind of blend it up over my eyebrow. I like the color just be fully blended around so nothing looks like unnatural and like just in one spot or anything, if that makes sense. But I mainly focus it. This does fade, so. And I'm gonna leave that brush out because I do use it again. So there's that. Okay, next I do powder. I used to use the Florence by Mills matte powder, and I do really like that one for a drugstore option, but I've started using the One Size translucent powder. And I really like this one because when I went to Sephora, a lot of the powders that I looked at are shimmery. And like I said, I don't really vibe with that. So this is the one I ended up going with. And before you blend out your concealer, go back in and just make sure that it's blended before I set it with powder. And I use this little like flat brush, and I do the same thing over here. And then you can put it wherever you want to put it, but I put it in the spots that get the most oily if I go outside right now since it's summer. I take like a big fluffy brush, and I usually take whatever powder is left and just make sure I get everything. And I like that powder because like it sets everything and it keeps it just matte enough, but I don't feel like my face looks like matte, you know, like 2016 makeup matte. So I really like it. Plus, again, I step outside in Florida and immediately I have more of a glowy look. So next, highlighter. I use this one from Makeup Revolution. It's in the shade Diamond Glow. And I love this thing so much. I'm going to use this for my inner corners because I feel like it's really bright, and I use it on my nose too. But not too crazy once you blend it out. And I put a little on my lip too. And then sometimes I will use this on my cheek. I also have a Fenty highlighter that I like on my cheeks, but today I'm I'm gonna use this Petite and Pretty 9021 Bungalow Eye and Cheek palette, and I use this little fluffy brush from Morphe, and I use this little highlighter blush moment. I don't know, not typically what I would go for, but the last few days I've just really been liking it, so I take that and I put that on my cheeks because I feel like cheek highlight isn't a huge thing anymore, and I like this because it still gives that glow but a little bit more natural. And then if I want to add anything else, I can always add a little bit of this on top. And then I use the blush shade too, just for a little extra blush color. There's that. And then I like the eyeshadows in this too, so it's a great little palette and it doesn't take up too much space in your makeup bag. Okay, next, eyebrows. I'm currently in between eyebrow products. I don't know. I used to use the NYX The Brow Glue, but I've actually decided that I don't like this very much and I'm out of it, so I need to go get a new one. It's like there's barely anything left in there, so I'm not going to use that today. I'm actually going to throw it away so that I have to go buy a new one. I use the e.l.f. little spoolie, and then I used to always use the e.l.f. brow lift, but I feel like it just feels so heavy on my face, so I'm going to use it today, but I'm probably going to invest in a new one soon. I just don't know. So if you guys have any eyebrow gel recommendations, please let a girl know. But since I'm not using a tinted gel, I'm going to brush them with a eyebrow pencil brush because it has like a little bit of product on it, just to give me a little bit of color. I'm like, I just don't want to use that much. Basically, my brow technique, I need to get them done, so they're a little long right now, but I brush everything up kind of at like the angle it grows, like that, and then I just kind of smooth it over once I get it in the spot I like, so I go like that, just to give the end a little bit more direction. So that's the difference. And then same thing on the other side. My eyebrows are genuinely like my #1 enemy lately. I just like cannot get them to do what I want. Fingers crossed that they work with me today and not against me. Okay, I feel like I think I'm just gonna call it good for today. Probably on a normal day I would redo them like 3 more times, but I actually feel like they look good today, so rolling with it. Next, eyes. If I do eyeshadow, I use the Too Faced chocolate bar palette, but on a typical day I don't do eyeshadow. I used to always do this with brown eyeliner, but lately I've been going back and doing it again, so I use this little brown eyeliner pencil from the brand Swede. I got sent it in PR and I actually really like it. I don't have like a sharpener for it though, so that's a little rough. I'm gonna get out. And I basically just do a little bit of lining around the outside of my eye, go like halfway in, and I don't do like a thick line. I kind of just brush it and blend it a little bit so that there's some color there, and then I do a little wing, which kind of starts as just a blob, and then I use my nail to turn it into a little wing like that. I also love though just using brown eyeshadow for this and using a little like eyebrow brush. I think it looks just as good, and you honestly have a little bit more control over it that way. I have this, so I've been using it. Okay, that is how that turns out, and then I just go under it with my beauty blender, make sure there's no like smudging or anything. Next, mascara. I get so many questions about my mascara routine, so here it is. First off, I curl my lashes. I think I got this lash curler from e.l.f. to be honest. I kind of need a new one, or I need to at least clean this one off, but that's a project for another day. So I curl it at the root, and I do that little Alex Earl thing where you like lift it up and it looks like that. That's the difference. Crazy. I think curling your lashes is so important. I don't know how I ever survived without an eyelash curler, to be honest. These lashes are a little bit longer, so it always looks a little lopsided. Next, mascara. I use the L'Oreal Telescopic, just like the regular one, and then on days when I know I'm gonna be crying or I need my curl to hold a lot longer, I use the Maybelline Sky High Waterproof because this mascara is a little bit drier, and my only issue with the Telescopic is that it's a really wet mascara, so it can be kind of heavy or it can be kind of clumpy if you put too much on. So this is a great like balancer, or really any drier mascara that's waterproof to be paired with this. I'm not going to use this one today because it's not as good. Like, waterproof mascara isn't really the best for your lashes, so I'm just going to use the Telescopic. I pretty much only use one dip for both eyes. So I start on this side and I do, I mean, you can just kind of see what I'm doing, but I kind of like start at the root and blink into it, wiggle like that, and I do a couple times on each side, and then I switch and I make sure I get this little like outer corner. And then sometimes I do a little bit on the bottom, barely tap it. I have a little on my eyelid, so I'll get that with a Q-tip in a minute when it dries. I'm actually gonna use this little fan, and I like turn it all the way up and dry it from underneath just to like help hold that curl, since I'm not using the waterproof today. Sorry, I hope you can hear me. just gonna get a little bit of mascara off my eyelid. And then lips, I have a bunch of different products I use, but my go-to is the Essence 8-Hour Matte Lip Liner. I don't know what shade it's in because it rubbed off the cap, but it looks like this. And I mostly just line my lower lip. I don't overline, and then I rub them together. But I do have to make sure I get my Cupid's bow on top. From here, I do setting spray. Apparently I throw it across the room. I want it to help my lip liner stay, even if I have to reapply my lip gloss. I use the Morphe setting spray. I also have the e.l.f. Stay All Night one that's green, but this is what I'm used today. And I use the little fan again, but I also press my setting spray in with the Beauty Blender. Sometimes I even go in with a little extra on the Beauty Blender to help set my under eyes. Then for gloss, I have a couple different ones I love. I have this one from ColourPop, and then this one from e.l.f. is probably my favorite. I use a gloss or an oil, but today I'm using the Glow Reviver Lip Oil in the shade Rose Envy. And I just put that on top. I'll put this in my purse too so that I have it with me. Oh, I also love the Essence lip gloss, but it says it's in the shade Crystal Clear. And again, this isn't my everyday makeup, but if I'm going to a convention, going to a concert, or I just have a day where I want to feel extra good, or I know I want to be making a lot of videos or something, this is what I do. But I do definitely have like a more toned down version for just like day to day if I just want to have on like a little bit of concealer, a little bit of blush, you know, like it varies, but this is like my main look when I get the most questions about how I do my makeup. Okay, so that is pretty much it. This is my go-to makeup routine. I love it. I think it's not too crazy. It's still pretty natural. Again, most of the products are linked in my storefront. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them. But that is pretty much it for today's video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I'm really trying to like learn what kind of videos you guys like so that I can make content that you all enjoy watching on YouTube. But yeah, that's it for today. I will see you guys in the next video. Love you so much. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, bye. Love you.